Welcome back, viewers. Jason Gonzalez from Jason G Designs here. In the previous tutorial, I showed you all, my fellow viewers, how to place a sticky element into a grid layout. In that tutorial, I mentioned that I did this as part of a slide-in widget for my blog site. This widget simply navigates to the header or footer on the blog's very long post listings. In today's tutorial, we will create this widget for an example page. Let's get started, shall we? For this tutorial, I changed the styling of the site just to add some interest. To follow along and get this new updated theme, just go to the tutorial resources section of my GitHub account, linked in the description. Copy the raw text and paste into your favorite text editor. In this file, I changed the name of the class for the sticky element to better represent its function. First, we can remove the placeholder text inside the slide nav container. In its place, we will add a reveal button and the panel that will hold our navigation buttons. Inside the panel, let's add the two header and two footer buttons, using the BEM naming convention. For this tutorial, we will use HTML symbols, which I found at toptowel.com. Toward the bottom of the page, let's grab the HTML code for the heavy right pointing arrow. Then, paste into our reveal button. Good. This shows up upon refreshing the page. These will be better set up as links styled as buttons, as these will link to the header and the footer. And let's get the right pointing arrow from top towel for placement in the link buttons. Now in the CSS, we will display the links as block and remove the underlining. For the to header link, we will use rotate transform at -90 degrees to point the arrow up. The to footer link will rotate 90 degrees to point down. Earlier in the video, I mistakenly set the link navigations as class names. I will fix that by adding IDs to the header and footer, then adjusting the buttons accordingly. Next, we will add classes to each button for shared styles. Let's give each button a height and width appropriate for a thumb size. As you can see, our up and down arrows are misaligned. To fix this, we will first add some span tags around each icon. Then change the display to flex and center the icons. Let's also remove the padding on the container so the buttons will sit flush against it. For the slide nav panel, we will use margin block to add margins to the top and bottom. For our design, we don't need the background color behind the container. Let's add a 0.5 rim margin to the top of the container as well. Let's also style the reveal button by adding our own border styles and color. Also, we will make the slide reveal transparent, but give it a semi-transparent color on hover. Next, we need to work on the two navigation buttons. We will give them a dark blue background color and white foreground. Going to htmlcolorcodes.com, let's grab a darker color for the hover state. We can get the next lightest color for the active state when the button is clicked. The initial state of the button panel is supposed to be hidden, so we will move the panel off screen using the transform. When we do this, it adds space to the right because of overflow. To fix this in a way that works with a sticky element, we set overflow X to clip. Now we can add a script at the bottom of our HTML for the button's functionality. We can add a console log to see if it works. Next, let's set up variables for our reveal button and panel. Then we add transforms for our slide in and slide out animations. Our default state for the panel is slide out, so we will add this via JavaScript. Let's add a click event listener to our reveal button and test it out. In place of the click test, we will add a toggle via an if statement. In this if statement, we will check if the nav panel already contains the class slideOutLeft. If it does, we will replace slideOutLeft with slideInLeft. For the else state, we replace slideInLeft with slideOutLeft. After refreshing the browser, the functionality is pretty much done. In order to make the animations happen, we will set a transition of 0.5 seconds and ease in and out on the panel. Our icon stays stationary when we click to open the panel, but we want it to point left when opened. We can console log to show the inner text, the icon in HTML. Going back to Top Tile's Arrows and Symbols page, let's copy the code for the heavy left pointing arrow. Then paste into the Reveal button's inner text. Oops, it looks like the inner text prints out the HTML code directly. We can remedy this by changing inner text to inner HTML. Inner HTML converts the entity code for us. For the else state, we simply replace back the right pointing arrow. We are going to add some labels to our buttons. For that, we will change the height and width on our slide nav buttons to min height and mid width, respectively. Let's add our new labels to header and to footer with surrounding spans. When we refresh, we now see that our Reveal button has been pushed out and our labels are rotated. To fix this, we are going to apply the rotation to the first span, the arrows. Let's change the flex direction to column so the arrow and label are on top of one another. We will also center the text. Next, we can add a class to each up and down button to more easily style them. Then, in our CSS, let's make the font size a little smaller. Let's add some padding to our buttons. For the next part, we will need to display our container as flex with the direction of column. We will align our reveal button to end, the rightmost side. Let's get rid of the min content width property to give the text more space. We are going to add ARIA tags for accessibility. First, we will set our default state for our button panel, expanded false. Also on the reveal button, we will state what the button controls, the panel. We need an ID with the same title. In our JavaScript, we set our reveal button's expanded state to true. And for the close state, we set it back to false. To make things a little sleeker, we can add smooth scrolling to the entire HTML element. As you can see in mobile view, this is less jarring to the eyes. You might ask, what purpose does this serve? Well, you might want a more simplified header menu without drop-downs. In this design, you can put further information down in the footer. These navigation buttons get you there quicker without scrolling all the way down. This idea can also work well on very long pages for people who want to get to the footer or back to the top from the bottom. If you like this content, please like and subscribe for more of it. Thanks, my viewers, for watching and following along.